when the child is in that early stage, up to the age of 7, the most important thing to be done in the process of education is to build the memory. If you build a vast memory bank, if I may be allowed to use that term, then that child can eventually emerge with an amazing versatility. He would not only become a medical doctor, he might also have engineering, he could have philosophy, he could have all these other subjects. What is the sky is the limit when you build the memory bank. And so we began education in Islam by trying intelligently so, sensibly so, to build the memory bank of the child, that the child would memorize and memorize and memorize. If the child is memorizing poetry, Urdu poetry, well, still it has some benefit. But if the child is memorizing the Quran, mashallah. And so this is what we did at that age, building the memory bank. And along comes the Dajjal, and today I was lecturing in a place called Jambar in Java in Indonesia, maybe about 2-3 months ago. And there were about 1,000 students ranging from age 10 to age 15, 16. And I am addressing them every morning after Fajr and every night after Maghrib, 1,000 or more. And it went on for about maybe 2 weeks. So I said, all those who have a smartphone, put your hands up. And everybody put their hand up. I say, all those who don't have a smartphone, put your hands up. Maybe 1 or 2 who were too poor. In this country of such great poverty, every child already had a smartphone. And what is the smartphone doing to that child? Depriving the child of what could have been a chance for him to build his memory base at that early age. Okay, he's wasting his time with the smartphone. So Dajjal is very sensible, very intelligent. He plans cunningly. And we are now experiencing something else. That as the child is subjected to the electromagnetic waves coming from the cell phone and the wireless internet and the cell phone towers and so on, and the smartphone, his memory is being damaged. Check it out. I checked it out. I take a group of little girls, 7, 8 years of age, in an Islamic camp, and I said, come, let's see. This is the name of the first surah. This is the name of the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, only 5. Al-Fatiha, Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, Al-Nisa, Al-Ma'idah. Now go, walk about, repeat it, come back after 5 minutes. They couldn't remember. They couldn't remember. The only ones who showed signs that the memory was still powerful are those who were not using the smartphone. When the child is in that age, the early age, he needs to be going outside and playing and jumping and running in the flower garden, enjoying the flowers. And if instead of that the child is hooked with a smartphone or a laptop, you're denying something else to the child. The process of education is that you not only begin with the memory, but you move on from the memory to something, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. Something that Allah gave to us. Something called imagination. To build castles in the sky. Imagination. And the imagination of the child is triggered off by observing the signs of Allah externally. Nabi Muhammad ﷺ once came to the masjid in the morning weeping. He said, two verses of the Quran, two passages came down last night. And they are so powerful in my heart that I could not help weeping of it. And in Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks and he says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. That surely in everything that there is in Allah's creation, in the samawat and the earth, the material universe, there are signs, there are pages to be read. There are pages to be read, pages written by Allah. But in order for you to read those pages, you got to go out. You got to go amongst the flowers. You have to watch the river. You have to look up at the stars and the moon and the sun. You have to feel the breeze and look at the clouds. You have to look at the birds. And then the child's imagination is triggered off. And the child now begins to read pages written by Allah. But you deny that to the child by taking him away from the trees and the flowers, and he's hooked to that, you know it. In every house, in every room of every house now, the television set. And the only way father and mother could get some time for themselves is put the television on. And the children are hooked to watch television. And in the process, they are robbed of being able to interact with nature. This was what the Prophet was weeping about. And the Quran went on to say about those who observe and read the pages of nature that Allah has written. Because then, ulil albab. Allah goes on to say that when you read the pages of the book of nature and your imagination is fired off like this, they are eventually going to become a people of zikr. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم. And so the examination and enjoyment of the external phenomena in the universe is meant to lead to some internal reaction in the heart of remembrance of Allah. And after the child is triggered off for this zikr of Allah in the heart, and father and mother playing a role in this, then comes a higher stage, when now the child engages in thinking. First there was memory, and then there was imagination, and now there is thinking. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And the child is now engaged in critical thinking of everything in the heavens and the earth. And would you believe that this is possible at age 14? Yes?